Is it fair to tell conservatives that they're in a cult? If their actions, beliefs, and the way they vote are in accordance with their conservative values, I would say that's not a very fair assessment. However, if they drift far enough away from those conservative values to the point that they start to outsource their thinking to somebody else who tells them what to do, what to believe, even when that might directly violate the conservative values they espouse to have, well, then that's starting to look a little bit more like a cult. I'd say it's worth double checking and comparing conservative values to who's been the leader of the conservatives over the last decade. All right, so value number one, personal accountability. Everybody taking responsibility for their actions, admitting when they're wrong, facing consequences. Sounds nice. Yet this president, who lost the 2020 election, then told everybody it was rigged, filed over 60+ failed lawsuits without evidence contesting the election, and still to this day refuses to admit he lost. Then look at the Epstein files. Trump's involvement is disturbing, and he knows it. And that's why, to avoid being held accountable for his sexual misconduct with children, he is telling his followers to stop talking about the files, calling them a Democratic hoax, and he has commandeered the FBI and the DOJ to actively cover it up for him. So, if you believe in personal accountability, but you support a man who has never once admitted he was wrong about anything, you're not a conservative, and you might be in a cult. Value number two, fiscal responsibility. Trump added more money to the national debt than any president in history, $8.4 trillion in just his first term. And then last year, in his second term, he signed tax cuts which will add trillions to the deficit. So if you claim to care about fiscal responsibility but then fall in line when Trump explodes the deficit, you're not a conservative and you might be in a cult. Value number three, limited government. The government should stay out of people's business, right? Oh, Trump's big beautiful bill earmarked $170 billion to expand ICE, who is essentially a new army not to protect the people in the US, but to be used against the people in the US. So if you believe in limited government but support armed federal agents roaming our streets, rounding up people without due process, you're not a conservative and you might be in a cult. Value number four, family values and having a leader with moral character. Yikes! Trump has had 3 marriages, he cheated on all his wives, paid off a porn star. He has 26 sexual assault allegations against him. He's in the Epstein files. So if you claim that family values matter, but you worship a man who embodies quite the opposite, you're not a conservative and you might be in a cult. And the last value, the Constitution. It's sacred. Should we defend it at all costs? I think so. But ICE is currently operating in a way that violates the First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendments, and nothing is being done about it. Add to that, just last week, the Supreme Court ruled that Trump's tariffs are unconstitutional. And what did he do in response? He called the judges hacks, and then he went and issued more tariffs globally. If you claim the Constitution is sacred, but you support a president who ultimately sees it as an obstacle to his own power, you're not a conservative and you might be in a cult. Well, we got our answer. Conservatives, we need you back. Go wash off the snake oil. It's time to wake up.